You're listening to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast, where we empower women of faith to identify, acknowledge, and accept their doubts and limits and beliefs in order to give birth to their God-given purpose. Join me and sometimes some of my friends on our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I'm Felicia Wallace, and together we will find our fears and slay them. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast. It's your girl Felicia Wallace. As always, welcome to all of the new listeners. I am so happy that you decided to hop in and join this journey and just listen to the episode. Whether you got here by way of a guest podcast that one of your friends are on, and so you decided to listen to more, or you saw it and said, I wonder what this is about. I just want to thank you. I appreciate your listens. I appreciate you just hopping on this journey, and I just hope that you get something out of it. To all of my continued listeners and those who have been on this journey from the beginning, who hopped on and said, you know what, this is resonating with me. I just really want to thank you all for continuing to show up, continuing to give me great feedback. Over the past couple of weeks, you guys have been really engaging with me in regards to this conversation about like self-doubt, what it looks like, how you identify it. This week we talked about how it shows up in your daily life, and that's what we're going to talk about today, how it shows up in my daily life. But first, I just wanted to just take a moment and just be grateful for what happened on Wednesday, the inauguration. I don't know about y'all, but I was holding my breath the entire time. I had watched too many political TV shows, whether it be, I told you I had just finished Designated Survivor, Scandal, House of Cards. Like I've watched a couple of those things and been like, oh, I was just like, I just needed to get home, be safe, all of those things. Like I was like, they is outside. I kept the thing that kept playing in my mind was that scene from the scene from Ghost where Whoopi Goldberg's like, Molly, you in danger, girl. Like I just was like, yo, you're talking too long outside. If y'all don't get in the car and you don't go back into the building, it was a scary feeling because I've watched inaugurations before and never felt like that. It's amazing what a couple of Wednesdays ago, how we were feeling, and just this past Wednesday just being something of just like such a proud moment. My kids were like, I mean, it's the inauguration, they would think about, I was like, but y'all don't understand. Like for me, I was like, it might be different, because y'all are boys and, Obama had his time and y'all recognize the importance of having a Black president. I was like, but to have a Black woman vice president, like that's the second highest position you can have in this country, and it spoke so many volumes to like what we can do and what we could do, and just how far we actually have come despite all of the stuff that's happened over this past year. Like we still make things happen, right? And even for a moment, as I was just like watching it happen. So here was the thing for me though, right? I was like, during it, I kept saying to myself, I know I'm not tripping, but she wearing purple, Michelle wearing purple, Hillary wearing purple. I was like, it's a lot of people up here wearing purple, right? So I read this article that I think it was on Oprah's magazine. The post came up, was like, did you notice that they were all wearing purple? And they say, of course, initially it's for bipartisanship, right? So if you mix red and blue makes purple. So that's what they were saying. Like this is the gear of like bipartisanship and, coming together, but also that purple is royalty, right? And if a couple of episodes ago or I don't know how many episodes, I probably should have looked it up before I said this, but it is what it is because the thought just came to me. I mentioned to you all, like, I had no idea why I had picked the color purple, right? But then my friend, my best friend from high school actually passed away suddenly back in 2012. And the last color she was wearing on her nails was purple. And so a part of me felt like that, I was definitely playing some homage to her. But purple was just like, I was like, I've never been like a girly color. And it wasn't until that moment I thought like, not only was it because I was paying some homage to Angie as well, but also like you all know that this was a God thing. This is a God's vision thing. And so the whole royalty and the regalness of it, it all made so much sense. Like the purple, the gold, the white, like everything. Even as I'm looking at the logo behind me, I'm just like, it's all speaking royalty, right? And so as I just watched that, I just felt something in my spirit. And I know a lot of people felt the same way that I did. And I'm so proud that we are here, that we're able to say that, and Lord willing, I will have grandchildren if I'm able to have granddaughters to be able to say that I witnessed that. I saw it like with my own eyes. And it's just a great feeling. So that was amazing. This week, I also did some things just to move myself forward. I think a lot of times in this journey of entrepreneurship, you get caught up in what you think it's supposed to look like, right? But then also not really knowing. And I have been making some really bold steps of, getting in relationship with other entrepreneurs and or coaches, and just really trying to figure out like, okay, am I tripping? Did this is happening? And so if you watch my stories and you're following me on Instagram, which you should be, I mentioned that I told myself I was going to start showing up every day. And so showing up for myself every day looks like getting dressed and not just wearing pajamas and putting on a lip. I didn't put one on today, but I got some gloss on, you see. It's a little glossy. But I noticed the difference that I felt when I started to show up for myself and I started to really take my power and owning who I am, right? And owning where I am at this moment. Another thing that I did on Friday, I had well, it was earlier this week, but on Friday I posted that I have taped to my laptop, Coach Felicia, Purpose Empowerment Coach. And I thought it was so important for me to change the narrative, right? And so this goes into just this question of how does self-doubt show up in your daily life? And for me, I realized that I wasn't even showing up. So self-doubt was taking over. I did not, I had been so used to being the old version of me and what that job was and what that title was that I wasn't owning where I am now, right? And so for me, self-doubt shows up as so before I share that, some people did respond and they got procrastination, paralyzation, like they procrastinate. So sometimes you hear this like paralysis, analysis paralysis. Yeah, I said that backwards. Um, Anxiety. I had somebody who shared that because they have a chronic health condition, they have toilet anxiety. And so just leaving the house brings them anxiousness. And, I had somebody else who reached out to me who said that they had self doubt like the first couple of years of college and they were just, glad that we were having this conversation. Someone else who said they're like doubting themselves to the point that they just cannot move. They just are like stuck. So again, that like paralyzation. And so I all of those things resonated with me. So for me, procrastination is huge. Um, I've told y'all this so many times. Like I procrastinate like it's nobody's business. I do that very well. Um, but one of the things that as I was, thinking about today's conversation and what I was going to say, I kept thinking to myself, like, why do I procrastinate? What is it that stops me from moving forward? And I realized I wasn't even showing up as Coach Felicia, Purpose Empowerment Coach, right? I was still showing up as that in between, like, I just left my job and now I'm pursuing something else. No, I have done the work. I have done the things that I need to do to officially say to myself that I am a coach, right? I completed my training and I am a certified professional coach. But if I don't admit that to myself to say that this is how that I'm admitting that like acknowledging, not admitting, but acknowledging this is who I am now, I will always show up as this this unsureness. That's not a word. That's not even a word I'm thinking about, but just being unsure of who I am, right? And so one of the things that I in asking this question of how does self-doubt show up in your daily life is being able to recognize what it looks like when you do have moments that you're not motivated to do anything. What is that really about? And especially, right now we're all at home, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you have a full-time 9 to 5, we're at home. And so we blurred the lines of work and home so over the like we've been in the house for 9 months, y'all. We have blurred the lines of work and home that is it's starting to get hard to tell what is what, right? And so I would encourage you to make that distinction. I had to make the distinction for myself. Yes, I'm in my basement. Yes, it's comfy and cozy. And this is where we have family night. And this is where we watch movies. And this is also where I exercise and wash my clothes. And it is also where my office is. It is also where I work. Right. And so when I change my thought process, then I show up differently. I wake up not like, oh my gosh, now I got to go to the basement. And then, no, I'm going to my office. Right. And so when you look at the things and how self doubt shows up in your daily life, I want you to really pay attention to that. If it's procrastination, at what time of the day are you procrastinating? On what project are you procrastinating on? One of the things that I noticed is that the thing that I've been procrastinating on the most, I want to say over the last like 2 months, is fully putting myself out there as a coach and attaching a price tag to it. And a lot of that has to do with the insecurity I feel that what if I don't get any clients? What if, nobody wants to actually do this? What if it doesn't work? What if this, what if that? And the thing about it is that I don't have any control over that, right? God is just calling me to be obedient and calling me to do this. And I will never know unless I try. Sometimes the paralyzation, somebody talked about that analysis paralysis, is trying to make things perfect, right? Oh, I'm gonna do this one more time. And then you say, oh, I'm missing this and I'm missing this. And that one thing takes you a month. And then, now we're in February. Then, oh, I got to do this. And then now we in March. And then, you're the thing about it is while you're doing it, you're watching other people around you who may have the same things, they may not. You don't know what their concerns are or if they have any self-doubt, but you're watching people move, and then that adds an additional amount of pressure on yourself because you're looking at other people do things and you're like, why am I not moving? And then that takes you into another space of like insecurity and wondering whether or not it's even worth it for you to do. And what I'm saying to you is that if any of those things resonate with you, if any of those things sound like, yes, that is me, I need you to take the time to identify those things. I need you to take the time to write that thing out, let you see it, put it down on paper so that you are very clear about what it looks like. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about your fears, identifying what your fear is. If you don't know what you're afraid of, you can't do anything with it. The last week we talked about, I'm looking at the paper, y'all. Yeah. How do we, how do you define self-doubt, right? How are you defining it? It's different from me. You have to know what those things are, and knowing what it is it gets your power back. It puts it in your hands because then you control it. And then the question is that does the self-doubt have control over you, or do you have control over your self-doubt? And you have to know what it is, identify what you're afraid of, identify, define what self-doubt is to you, and then how it's showing up in your daily life. When you're able to do those things, it's easier for you to be able to say, okay, I have been sitting here for 30 minutes doing this same project and I have not moved on it. Am I stuck? What is it that what's causing me to be stuck? What is the reason why there's no forward movement, right? And then you give yourself something. Maybe you just need to get up. Maybe you've been sitting in that space for too long. Maybe you need some water. Maybe you need some milk. Maybe you need to go to the bathroom. Maybe you need to walk outside. Maybe you need to go for a walk. Like there's different things that you can do to just like reset your brain, reset your energy, reset your motivation to be like, okay, now let's go. What I have found that has been very helpful lately has been what they call like co-working hours. And so some of the women that I have had the pleasure of being in business groups with and or my coaching classmates, we do a co-working hour. And so what we do is we set a timer for 25 minutes. We all say what it is that we're going to work on, and I'm able to get it done. Now, I don't have co-working hours every day. I don't have them, I don't even have them every week, right? And so what I noticed is that that actually works for me. So then I took that and then I applied it. And so I have the focus timer app on my phone. Now, granted, you could set just a timer on your phone as well. And for 25 minutes, and I just do work in increments of 25. If at the end of 25 minutes I am stuck in the same place, there's no forward movement and I am not complete, I do not take the next 25 minutes to finish working on that. I stop and I move on, because there's a reason why I can't move forward on that. And I have to be able to take the time to say, like, is there some self-doubt that's coming up in this? Is there some insecurity? Is there some analysis paralysis that is coming up that's making me be like, I can't really do this? I notice for myself when I'm doing like things in like Canva, when I'm creating things, because I know that I don't feel like I'm very creative in like an artsy kind of way. I'm very hard on myself. And so then I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, does this look right? Then I go on social media and then I go look at other people's, posts, and I'd be like, does this look okay? Does this, and then guess what? A day goes by and I've literally done nothing because I spent so much time just focusing on whether or not it looks like somebody else's. It's not. It's supposed to look like what my thing is supposed to look like. But because I know that now, because I spent so much time doing it, if I'm in Canva and um if I'm in Canva and it's not moving and I can't go no further and I'm not done in that 25 minutes, I shut Canva down and then I start over like on another day. And I have to then work myself up and say, okay, girl, today you're going to get these posts done. Today you're going to get these templates done. You're going to do this. You have everything that you need, and let's move forward. So I hope this is helping you guys. I'd love for your feedback. You can email me at info@FeliciaWallace.com. You can send me a DM on social media, on whether it's in Facebook or Instagram, because I want to know whether or not this information is helping you all. I want to know whether or not having these practical steps of really identifying what your self doubt is and how it's showing up for you, if that's helping you, because that it would be helpful for me. I want to know that it's helping you. So please, again, send me an email at info@FeliciaWallace.com, or send me a DM on either Instagram or Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, I am working on creating a Facebook group. So the purpose of this group is going to be called Facebook. Child, no, it's going to be called Slaying Self Doubt Society, and it's going to be a private group, and it's going to be specifically for women of faith who are ready to go on this self-doubt journey. You want to be around like-minded people. You may not be ready for this is like the pre part, right? I want us to have a space to be able to have this conversation, because I understand that this is a difficult conversation. I understand that this is something that you may not want your boss to know that you feel uncomfortable about a certain type of way. It like social media is so open. You don't know who follows you or who's following somebody else, and then they know your business. I totally understand that, and so I want to create a safe space for us to be able to share our, our self doubt. I want us to be able to share when we've, had a aha moment, and us to be able to celebrate together, because we understand. We understand each other. We know what it feels like. We know how that self doubt comes up. And I want to be able to have a place for you to be able to be your true and authentic self. So if you are not connected to our newsletter that goes out every Sunday and every Thursday, right now, I need you to get connected to the Slaying Self Doubt family. That's what we call it. I need you to get connected and be a part of the family. You can find it in the show notes, but you can go to www.FeliciaWallace.com and sign up today, so that when that rolls out, I want you in there. If you have been listening to this and you've been like, you know what, Felicia has posted something and I really want to say something, but my self doubt is kicking in and I don't want nobody to know, right? Or you feel like I need support in this. I've now shared this and I need some additional support of other women who I've seen that say, yeah, this is me too. I need you connected and in. I need you to get get connected to the family so that when the group opens up, you will be the first to know. As well as the fact that we will be rolling out this quarter individual and group coaching. What that looks like us really, really unpacking this self-doubt and unpacking what it looks like for you and the steps that you need to take, because right now it's just me telling you something, you're responding, but in the coaching sessions it's really about you owning that information for yourself and being able to walk through this journey and be able to take it and say, I've identified that I have self-doubt. I've identified that this is something that's been holding me back from walking into my purpose, from applying to this job, from leveling up to performing well at work. It could be as simple as just improving your marriage or your relationship with your kids. Like, self-doubt is not just about work. It shows up in so many areas of your life. It is ridiculous. So if that is something that you would be interested in, you're going to go back to www.feliciawallace.com and you will join the wait list for either or both. You can put your name on both. All right. But I'm so happy about this, and I hope you can hear the joy and the excitement that I feel, because I owning that I am a purpose empowerment coach and owning that my new title is Coach Felicia has relieved some of the pressure I was putting on myself, but it's also giving me something to be proud of. Okay. Like, I got my hands on my hips and I'm proud that I have done the work, and I am here saying that I'm your purpose empowerment coach. Okay. So until next week, see ya. We end every episode with the serenity prayer, and it goes as follows: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right, y'all, that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Remember to head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow me at Slaying Self Doubt. Oh, wait, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and watch this episode, and remember to press the subscribe button. Until next week, see ya.